Today we are going to start our unit on ancient civilizations in Mesopotamia. Um, this is going to be a brief introduction and overview of Mesopotamia and its early civilizations. Mesopotamia is the area between the Tigris and Euphrates River, also known as the Fertile Crescent. Geography of the area. Mesopotamia is located between the Tigris and Euphrates River. Mesopotamia means the land between two rivers. It was located in what is now modern-day Iraq, and there are mountains located to the northeast, and they are known as the Zagros Mountains, between what is now Iraq and Iran. The importance of rivers and civilization. Most early civilizations were formed near rivers. The area at the time was dry, and rivers allowed water source. The flooding also supplied a fertile ground to grow crops. Unlike the Nile in Egypt, the rivers of the Fertile Crescent had unpredictable and dangerous floods. It's often talked about in the Nile, they have it's a regular flood season, takes some of the dirt and settles on the land, and then they have fertile ground. And the same is true for the Fertile Crescent, other than the predictability. Pre-civilization. Before people civilized or formed civilizations and cities, they were hunters and gatherers and nomadic. They traveled the land, followed the food. With the advent of farming, it allowed people to stay in one place, grow crops, and not have to move all the time. The world's first civilization found in Mesopotamia, Sumer, is considered to be the world's first civilization and is found in the southern part of Mesopotamia. The Sumerian civilization was established somewhere around 3500 BC. The picture in this slide is of Ur, which is one of ancient Sumerian city-states, surrounded by walls for protection. Houses on the outside, and then outside of that there's farmland. City-states are a sovereign state consisting of an independent city and its surrounding territory. Sumerian civilizations was divided into competing, self-sufficient city-states. Each one had its own gods and rulers, but was all around the same time as the Sumerian civilization, and they're all lumped under one. The city-state is often surrounded by a wall, like in the picture of Ur on a previous slide. For the law, I'd like you to do research on your own for this section of laws in Sumer and who created them. Write a brief paragraph or two on your findings and submit them in the post-test. This will help me make sure that you're understanding what you're reading when you do research. You might do future projects on this. For religion, Sumerians were polytheistic, which meant they believed in multiple gods. In fact, there was several main gods and hundreds of minor gods. They had a god for just about everything. Each city-state had its own patron god or goddess, who was kind of the head of that city-state. Maybe the Sumerian creation myth says that the gods originally created man as servants, because the gods had to work hard all by themselves and they needed help, so they created man. But eventually, the gods freed people when they became too much to handle. The leader of the city-state was also the priest, we come to the term priest-kings. That's what that means. The king at the time was also the priest. This was true in most early parts of Sumerian civilization, but later on, as it becomes more of an empire, there will be one king. The people of ancient Sumer. Farming and agriculture allowed people to stay in one place. And this agriculture depended heavily on irrigation, Although they were near the Tigris and Euphrates River, it was not always the wet season, and so the Sumerians relied heavily on irrigation for their crops. Um, the increased production in agriculture allowed people to move into cities, and it created the division of labor. People were able to pursue other jobs. Not everyone was needed to be a farmer because more people or less people could create as much food as everyone together before. Some boys attended school to become scribes. This was not everyone. More wealthy boys did this. Um, and trade did exist between other civilizations. It was found obsidian was discovered from Anatolia, and lapis lazuli, which is a purple stone, was found from Badakhshan. Writing. The Sumerians had developed a writing. It started as um, pictures and eventually changed into something of an alphabet. It was known as cuneiform, which means wedge-shaped. This wedge shape was formed by using a stylus, pushing into a soft piece of clay and letting it bake in the sun. Um, the Sumerians made many contributions to modern society and to civilizations that came after them, including a 12-month lunar calendar, which is the gold circle located on this slide. They also had a water clock. They had their own wheel. They allowed movement. A lot of time, the wheel was also used in carts and um, war cart type things that they used because the Sumerians were constantly at war with the other city states. They had plows, which also increased their agriculture production. It's one of the reasons they were allowed to have such grand and large cities because not everyone needed to be a farmer. And they also had sailboats located between two rivers. It was important to be able to move up and down them, and this also probably helped aid in trade with other countries. And that is a brief overview of ancient Sumeria and Mesopotamia. We will cover more in depth in class. Please take the post test after watching this video. Thank you.